হ্যালো এভরিওয়ান, নমস্কার সকলকে। লয়েটের ডু ইউ নো দ্য ল সিরিজের 2 নম্বর এপিসোডে সকলকে জানাই স্বাগত। আজকের এপিসোডটা হবে খ্রিশ্চান কনসেপ্ট অন ব্যাংক্রাপটসি নিয়ে। তো শুরু করা যাক। আজকে আমরা ডিসকাস করব মেনলি ওল্ড টেস্টামেন্ট, হোলি বাইবেল কী কী বলছে ডেট নিয়ে, বা তখনকার সেই সময়কার সেই চিন্তাভাবনাগুলো যেটার দ্বারা সেই সময় ডেট ডিল করা হতো খ্রিশ্চিয়ান ডমিনেটেড স্টেটগুলোতে। তো আমরা যদি দেখি এক্সোডাসে 22:25-27 বলছে, ইফ ইউ লেন্ড মানি টু মাই পিপল, টু দ্য পুয়ার অ্যামং ইউ, ইউ আর নট টু অ্যাক্ট অ্যাজ এ ক্রেডিটর টু হিম, ইউ শ্যাল নট চার্জ হিম ইন্টারেস্ট. If you ever take your neighbor's cloak as a pledge, you are to return it to him before the sun sets, for that is his only covering. It is his cloak for his body. What else shall he sleep in? And it shall come about that when he cries out to me, I will hear him, for I am gracious. The Mosaic Law, the prophets, the Psalms, Proverbs, and Jesus himself all devote to considerable attention to lending and debt. Jesus referred to debt in Lord's Prayer and in several of his parables. Ever since Adam and Eve were expelled from Eden, debt and the consequences of default have been a familiar feature of economic life. Who followed the Christian path of life. The most prominent biblical constraint on lending transaction is the prohibition on charging interest. The anti-usury rule is referred to dozens of times in Old Testament. In addition to prohibiting usury, biblical law limited the use of certain kinds of collateral for what we would now call secured loans. Now we can see that secured loans are that principle which was derived from this holy book. In fact, it has been written in the Deuteronomy that you may charge interest to a foreigner, but to your countrymen you shall not charge interest, so that the Lord your God may bless you in all that you undertake in the land which you are about to enter to possess. Another thing I want to say, that is, Bible says in Luke 7:42, when they were unable to repay, he graciously forgave them both. So which of them will love him more? And another thing is, even if the debtor agreed to pledge his grinding stone to the lender as security for repayment of a loan, the Bible prohibited this. In Romans 13:8, the Bible says, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another, for he who loves his fellow man has fulfilled the law. The Psalms 37:21 describes that a debtor who borrows but does not pay back is nothing but wicked, and a debtor who shirks his financial obligations would be seen as violating 2 of the 10 commandments. Jesus devoted as much attention to debt and financial distress as the Hebrew Bible did. In Matthew 6:9-13, it has been told to people that to ask God to forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. In Proverbs 22:26-27, it has been said that do not be among those who give pledges, among those who become guarantors for debts. If you have nothing with which to pay, why should he take your bed from under you? In Deuteronomy, we can find that at the end of every 7 years, every creditor shall release what he has lent to his neighbor. None shall exact any debt from his neighbor, his brother, through collection of a debt back to the creditor from the foreigner may be allowed. So there shall not be any sufferings. Leviticus 25:39 says, if brother become poor, he should not be treated as slave. So if we can look and analysis those Christian provision or Christian concept or in that holy book Bible, we found that there is only one provision to deal with this debt, that is love, compassionate behavior and mercy. That is all about uh, that's all about teaches about how to deal with debt. In fact, I have never seen any provision which suggests severe punishment to those who fail to repay, in fact. So this is what Holy Bible, Old Testament says about how to deal with debt, to love and let all together make a world better and peaceful for everyone. That is our prayer, and that is the end of our episode. I have tried to analyze and I have tried to tell you what I have learned from this aspect, and I have tried my level best to share my views and to share all those verses of Bible which deals with the debt. Thank you very much for listening. Keep supporting. Have a great day. And I want to thank. There are several books. One of them is Forgiveness, Bankruptcy and Islam, an explicit tradition of compassion and forgiveness, which is written by J. Jason Kilburn. Another thing is Junior A. David, Christianity and Bankruptcy, Pain Law. Another is Christianity and Corporate Purpose, UCLA School of Law. Another is Classic Modern Study Constitute the Church, having church John T. Noonan Jr., The Scholastic Analysis of Usury, Cambridge University Press 1957. And there are so many books helped me to collect this information and to share this with you. Without the help of this book, I could not record this, I could not share this information to you. Thanks to them, and thank you for listening. Have a great day.